right, so what all is being accomplished in this song?
Giving Burr's motive.
Yeah.
Against Hamilton.
Definitely strengthening Burr's motive. At the same time as Hamilton gets his clout back.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is it brings Hamilton back into the fold, and it shows how Jefferson has to rely on him, even though they disagreed and argued and fought on every single issue. Now, Jefferson, in order to win, he has to go to the one man he doesn't like, Hamilton, and, hey, can you help me out to give me your endorsement so I can win the election?
Yeah, another great moment for actually being true that he went through. And that's one thing I think. There's certain moments that I really like how Lin-Manuel Miranda gets across certain esoteric details of history, drills them home in a really good way without getting didactic about it, without feeling preachy, lectury, or feeling like we're getting out of the story. I'm not a history major, but I did not realize, but I will now forever remember that the vice president used to go to this person who, took second in the election up until Jefferson. That moment, that little nugget of history is now forever embedded in my brain. And it's just, again, a little nugget that could have easily been done in a didactic way. And all the various facts along the way, too, that Lin-Manuel Miranda probably had to be very carefully discard to not get didactic. Realize that not only is this moment nice for what is there, but think about all that he had to leave on the floor that he probably found intriguing or interesting. And that's something you want to think about. What are the facts that matter?
Yeah, in his interview, in the PBS show special that we couldn't show you, he talks a little bit about this, and I thought that it's worth mentioning. He says that he talked with Stephen Sondheim, right? I think this is right. Yeah, he talked with Stephen Sondheim, another very successful musical writer, about how to write. And the guy, he said to him, Stephen Sondheim said something like, "You write the part of the story that you want to tell. You leave out all of the rest." And Miranda said that was extremely freeing for him, because he said at first he was so overwhelmed with having to tell the whole story, and instead he just chose the parts of Chernov's biography and the parts of history that he wanted to tell.
Yeah.
That's what you do too.
Yeah, also I think he does a great job relating. I think, the news kind of puts out me, I think a lot of people share my view that we are in a place politically in our own government right now that feels very unprecedented, with the extreme partisanship, with feeling like everything, a choice is a lose-lose, as they say here, and relating that idea to, we've gotten through this stuff before, we've gotten through the very extremely partisan before. I think gives perspective to what's going on in our climate today, which is ultimately, I think, the reason why you tell history, and ultimately the reason why I think historical fiction takes off. Hamilton himself, Lin-Manuel Miranda himself might have been truly interested in the guy that this guy wrote his way out, that history is about who tells your story, the themes that are in there. But I think ultimately, this song and what's going on, about how this musical is connected so well metaphorically to what's happening in our political climate today, is ultimately kind of what's made it explode. It's made it relevant.
Yeah.
It's made it relevant beyond just people who like writing. They're excited that, wow, a writer's looking like a superhero. That, beyond, this theme of, who writes your story. This idea that it connects really hardcore to what is going on in our political climate today.
When Miranda hosted Saturday Night Live, he sang "Never Gonna Be President" at Donald Trump's picture because of the recent events from the sexual scandals discussed. So yeah, definitely. And he has a footnote about that.
So, and those are things ultimately, and the thing is, it might have been a little bit there in Manuel's mind, but I think overall he was writing the story that he says he was writing about the road, the way out, thing. I don't think he was trying too hard to directly connect it to modern politics, even though it ended up connecting. There are moments I think it might have connected a little bit, like in this song, but this connection to modern politics resonates throughout, not just in the song here. With that, we'll take a 10-minute break now before we head to the last bit of the show. Okay, Mr. Minot.